Hey guys, Slammin' here. Just wanted to do another video in my altcoin investing series and how to sort of time investing into altcoins where you can get up to 100x returns or even more, which is something I've experienced personally. So stay tuned and I'll show you some basics on how to figure out when is a good time to get into the market for altcoins. So since Bitcoin is the first cryptocurrency, I'm going to first talk about Bitcoin since everything, the altcoin market depends heavily on how bullish Bitcoin is. Bitcoin, it has a limited supply of 21 million, and the miners, they mine a block every 10 minutes. And when Bitcoin was first released in its first market cycle after 2008, 2009, it was every 10 minutes the Bitcoin network would release 50 Bitcoin. And then every 4 years, there's a halving. A few conditions need to be met for a halving to happen. I'm not going to get into that right now, but the first one happened in November 2012, and it's a good indicator, at least historically, that the Bitcoin market is going to go up because when just basic economics with supply and demand, when there's limited supply and demand increases, price also must increase. So see here, here's the Bitcoin topped out here in $33 in 2011, bottomed out at about $4, and the Bitcoin happened in November 2012 and it shot up pretty fast. I was not in the market at the time, but I remember hearing about it around here. And then when Bitcoin peaked over here at 1100 in 2000, end of 2013, I really started paying attention, and I followed it here and there as the price went down. And as I was investing in stocks, I was learning about gold and discovered that Bitcoin is like gold. It's a hedge against market uncertainty and things like that. Bitcoin is sort of viewed as digital gold. So I bought around here in anticipation of stock market volatility. That was when I first bought my first Bitcoin. So, and in 2015, it bottomed out around 150, and then the second Bitcoin halving happened in July 2016, and then the bull market. I heavily invested and traded in this section. And the bull market continued until it hit a climax at 20,000. Let's see, yeah, just about 20,000 on this index. So, and then we just had so this is just the index. Just want to give you guys a little bit of price history to see what sort of happens after a Bitcoin happening. So I'll go to Bitstamp now. It's one of the oldest exchanges. It was created in 2011. It's the oldest standing exchange. So here's that that first halving, and then the peak over here in 2013 at 1140 about, and then the second halving that I just talked about, and it peaked around 20,000. And this is just me. I put in how much Bitcoin went up from the bottom to the top percentage wise. It did 8,670, and right now we just passed its third halving. It went from 12 Bitcoin per block released to 6.25. Sorry, 12.5 to 6.25. So we're now in that new growth cycle, as I've shown here in the past cycles. And after a Bitcoin halving is typically, at least in the times past, when it is a good time to start accumulating altcoins for bigger gains than this, if you place your bets right and you buy at the right time, while of course managing risk. So, and then here's another indicator, a total market cap, where it basically shows what all the cryptocurrencies combined, the total market capitalization, and you can see now it's growing, and so is the price of Bitcoin. It's also growing. And this just shows up here. Bitcoin topped out about, or the total market cap topped out about $760 billion in the beginning of 2018. You can see here, here's the previous high in 2014, according to this measure. And when it hit this, when it broke that all-time high in the previous market cycle, then Bitcoin really started doing its parabolic advance and took up the altcoins that had some value to them, the projects that were worth investing, that had true promise and solving real world. But altcoins, not all of them are good investments, but some of them are. So, and then another indicator I want to show you guys was the Bitcoin dominance. So when altcoins really take off, it's called alt season. Crypto people, investors call it alt season. And the last big one happened in January 2017 and lasted the whole bull market of Bitcoin. So right around here, January 2017, altcoins, alt season started and basically went through the entire remaining portion of the Bitcoin parabolic advance for the whole year, 2017 to 2018. And so when the Bitcoin, this is just a measurement of how much percentage of the Bitcoin does Bitcoin's market cap hold against the other cryptocurrencies. And in January 2017, it was about 96%. And when it started dropping, all that money flowed into the altcoins, and that's where the big altcoin gains happened. For many investors, many crypto investors, life-changing amounts. For me, I experienced a few 100x investments, which is 10,000%. Even one or two of them that were more than that. But I experienced multiple investments with thousands of percentage points in return in less than a year. And so this is where it bottomed out, and that's where the Bitcoin bull market ended, and then Bitcoin started gaining its dominance back as altcoins, at least the ones that didn't have any value and were pure speculation, bled out. So right now we're right around here, 66% Bitcoin dominance, and when this starts going down, like it did here, there's a mini altcoin rally here, and I had some nice returns here. But when it really starts dropping like this, then like it did over here, then that's when the altcoins really take off. And so another really good measure is Ethereum. It's the second largest cryptocurrency. Right around here at the bottom of the Bitcoin dominance is when people were talking about Ethereum flipping, becoming bigger than Bitcoin, and that's when that all fell apart. But that was the top. And so Ethereum was the first cryptocurrency altcoin that I bought. I bought around here. I bought the hype and held all the way down here, and then started buying some more here in 2017. I was buying at $10. Yeah, I was buying right around here at $10, and then I started buying other cryptocurrencies. But as you can see here, like I was saying, this is a good indicator. Ethereum is a good measure of altcoins, of the alt season being upon us, which is going to happen soon. So here I just drew, if you just draw basic trend lines, I won't talk too much about indicators right now, but basic trend lines, you can see this is a downward trend line, and when it broke, you can see price broke out, and because Bitcoin was bullish and was growing with it, everything Bitcoin drew more attention to crypto. And you see here's a ton of volume. These lines over here are volume. It's just the amount of trades that are happening in a given time frame. In this case, it's the daily. Every candlestick here represents a day of trading. So yeah, and then 2017, as I was saying before, it went that went all the way through the beginning of 2018 in January for the Bitcoin bull market. But with this pairing Ethereum against Bitcoin, it had its first parabolic advance and peaked out around June, and then it sold off against Bitcoin, which I believe right around here was the Bitcoin Cash hard fork. Yeah, this is when the Bitcoin Cash hard fork happened right here, which was a pretty decent drawdown on the whole market. I think it was 40% at the time. I don't remember off the top of my head, but so that was a cause of that. Then went back up against Bitcoin when Bitcoin peaked. But another, probably a better measure for those not familiar with measuring things against Bitcoin is the dollar, obviously. So Ethereum here, I'll zoom out a little bit, or zoom in a little bit here. Okay, so like I said before, I bought around here. I FOMO'd into a spike here. I think it was like $10 or something, $15, something like that. I don't remember exactly. This is when I first bought. I FOMO'd into it, and I held all the way down, and I started buying again right here before I bought other altcoins. But as you can see, it went from $10 at the beginning of the altcoin bull market, alt season, and went on its parabolic advance against the dollar and peaked. So this is where the peak against Bitcoin happened when the Bitcoin Cash fork happened. It sold off as well, but not as hard, I don't think. If you just held on from $10, like I didn't do that, and it peaked all the way at 1400 when the Bitcoin bull market ended. So, but here we go. So we'll start down here and just zoom out just to give you guys an idea. So from about $10 all the way to 1400 was 19,000%. It's crazy, right? So that's what it did. And there's other cryptocurrencies that moved even bigger in terms of percentage gains against the dollar. Here's another one, Litecoin. I'll just do a few more just to give you guys an idea. So here's Litecoin. It's considered by some the digital silver to Bitcoin's digital gold. This exchange Kraken has a bit of price history for the US, for Litecoin against the US dollar. So you can see here, same thing, Bitcoin started its bull market around here. The bottom of the bear market of the last market ended here, and the altcoin season started around here when Ethereum started taking off, and you see Litecoin didn't start taking off until about March, at least against the US dollar. But you can see, maybe I'll hide these other bars here so you can have a better idea. So it's basically flat. I don't remember what fundamentals were happening at this time for Litecoin, but I do remember it was hovering at $5 for a long time. It seemed like it wouldn't move at all. But like I said, here's a good indicator is volume candles, volume sticks. And then when moving averages cross to the show bullish movement, then that is also a good sign. So I'll do more in depth on some of the indicators I use, but just wanted to illustrate a point here. For the average person who's not an investor, who doesn't have their finger on the pulse of the market, I am no professional day trader or anything like that. I'm an investor, and as you can see, crypto is very volatile, and trying to day trade this is very difficult. You'd likely get chopped up, especially if you trade on margin. It's better, especially for the average person, just to buy and hold. take profits as you see fit, as you given your risk tolerance and time horizon and things like that. Most importantly, you should always have a plan. So here we go. So it went from $5 to $367 about. Then you get Litecoin against the paired against Bitcoin. Here you can see clearly January 2017, like I've been saying, this is when the altcoins started taking off, and against Bitcoin it didn't fare so well, but against the US dollar you can clearly see the price gains. So keep that in mind. There's a lot more USD pairings now, and stable coins paired against cryptocurrencies that you can cash out into, so to speak. So, and here's another one, NEO. Here you can see it. These all sort of peaked around the summertime of 2017. At least this one did, right after the Bitcoin halving, I guess, like maybe a little bit after. And they all sold off against Bitcoin for the fall, and then they had their last parabolic run when Bitcoin peaked out at 20,000. And the same thing, before you get to this point of choosing when to buy, see here's till January 2017, after the halving that I talked about, and after Ethereum started showing some signs of life, started showing some signs of life, is a good time to start buying altcoins, but you got to do fundamental analysis first, which I've talked about in the previous videos. So, but this doesn't happen for all altcoins. They have their own different market cycles, so to speak. But I'm just showing you some that I remember and some that I invested in that moved quite a bit. I was invested in Litecoin, and then I watched NEO. I didn't ever invest in it. I traded it. That was it. Stratus is something I invested in, and it didn't follow that Bitcoin entire market cycle like Litecoin and NEO and Ethereum did. And see, here's 2017. It didn't start taking off till March. Some of these coins didn't start taking off till March, so it took time after Ethereum started moving and clearing new all-time highs. So Stratus, it peaked out in June 2017. So again, trying to call tops is pretty near impossible. You just want to try to take profits here and there, whatever percentage point you feel like, and then you set stops on the way up if you want. It's really hard to predict these things, but you take profit as you go. So here's another one, XVG. This one did 100x. So here's January 2017. It just kind of, over here, just kind of was grinding, and then it made a move in springtime in March with these huge volume trading days. And it kind of chopped around some more, then it went hugely up in December 2017. So it's different than Strat. Strat didn't make a new all-time high like Verge did. XVG, this is where Strat basically ended, but XVG just kept going when Bitcoin made its final parabolic advance into 20K. Then here's XEM. Here's another one that performed really well. This was one that I missed. I watched, but it was very popular. So same thing. Started getting some signs of life in January 2017, and boom! In the springtime, it hit an all-time high, and then it sold off during the summertime, like most altcoins did per se, at least paired against Bitcoin, and then it went up. It's basically a new unmatched all-time high. So every altcoin performs differently, but the big ones, like the large market caps, the blue chips, I like to call them, Ethereum, Litecoin, other large cap coins like that, they tend to follow Bitcoin. But even now, some crypto, they are starting to detach or decouple from other crypto, from Bitcoin's market movements. So we'll see if that holds during this market cycle. Here's Dogecoin, another popular one, and in times past you could see buying in the 20 Satoshi range. It would be a good buying opportunity as you see all these spikes that happen. Just another one. There's no real use case for Dogecoin. Is a joke that was made in 2014 and it's still going. This Dogecoin started taking off in March after all the altcoins started getting some momentum and peaked in May. But went back down to 20 sats, 20 Satoshi, and went back up to this point, 112 Satoshi, just like XEM did against Bitcoin. They had their sell-offs and they rose back up with Bitcoin's final parabolic advance. Some of them got new all-time highs against Bitcoin, some of them didn't, and some of them like this one, Neo got new all-time highs against Bitcoin when Bitcoin peaked out at 20K. So it all kind of depends. Every market's different, but you gotta manage your risk and have a game plan. So just so you know, a 20% loss in crypto is not very much, especially if you're holding for long term. This is risk capital. You don't want to be playing with your living expense money at all. This pure investment capital. So remember, guys, use risk management. The most important thing is learn as much as you can about fundamental and technical analysis and have a plan based off your risk tolerance and time horizon. So let me know what you guys think. If you guys have any comments or questions, or if you think I left anything out, let me know in the comments and I'll be happy to engage with you and talk to you and help you out if I can.